I was born when I was 7 months old in my mother's womb. Mommy then, as a nurse in training, never in her wildest imagination thought I could come that day. She went to work as usual. She suddenly fell in labor, and behold, the boy Olu Aturamu was born. Nobody gave me a chance of survival, for I was so tiny, living in the incubator for 2 solid months. But for good medical services in Akure then, I wouldn't have survived. This begins the story of the good old days of my humble self, Dr. Olu Aturamu. My parents are Chief Emmanuel Adeleke Aturamu of blessed memory and Deaconess Grace Olufunke Aturamu of Ikere-Ekiti in the now Irepo Fellow local government of Ekiti State. They were both staunch Baptist members who not only fell in love with the doctrines of the church but led us, their offspring, strictly in the ways of the Lord. I started my primary school at the prestigious Omoliri Nursery and Primary School in Akure, while Dad was a teacher at Aquinas College and Mom a nurse at the State Hospital. I was later moved to Local Authority Primary School, Akure, where as a natural mixer, I blended freely with other pupils. I remember in those days, boys would always repel the girls, not wanting them to sit beside them. They would draw lines in between the wooden chairs of those days meant for 2 and threaten to beat girls who chose to cross the borderline. For me, it was no big deal. I welcomed all, and I think I was loved by all for that accommodating nature. Not what you are thinking though. Those good old days when Chief, as I fondly called my dad, would take me out after coming home with various academic prizes. He would take me to OK stores in Akure to buy big Smarties and goody for me as a reward for doing well in school. I guess that's where I developed a love for chocolates and confectionaries. In Aquinas College, where we lived then, we had a small garden at the back of the house where we planted tomatoes, garden eggs, and some vegetables to support the nutritional needs of our home. I remember following Dad to play tennis with the foreign teachers in the school then, in his white top and shorts, of which I will equally be kitted. I was proudly a ball boy for years. I remember his playing partners then, Father Evans, the school principal, Father Willan, and few others whose name I cannot recall now. The good things about growing up in such environment is that whenever the students were on holidays, the overgrown grass were used by us for our combat training. We would hide under it to play hide and seek, fly our kites, and ride our bicycles within the large space of the college environment, not forgetting other sporting events that we usually embarked upon. With fond memories, I remember my uncle Biola Aturamu, God bless his soul, who would always buy toy guns for me during festive periods. Toy guns that you will never find with any other kid around the neighborhood. It was always a delight to wear my combat trousers and shirts armed with my gun while we had fun. I started my secondary education at Doati Memorial Grammar School, Ikere-Ekiti, but moved with my dad to Ile-Oluji when he became the first principal for Reda Grammar School, Ile-Oluji. I joined Goliji Grammar School, one of the biggest and the best schools in that axis, from the second year, and eventually graduated from the school. I remember with nostalgia how Dad would drop us off in school and we would trek back home after school hours. How can I forget the cold eba and the hot ilala sepo that we normally stop by to eat every afternoon at Odomikan, Dupe Adeniyi's grandmother's house, along with my aunt Bola Aturamu, now Mrs. Bola Fakunle. Chief, my dad, was very strict, very, very strict. At every opportunity, he would flog me. If I come home late from school, he would flog me. If I go out with my friends, I will be caned. I never liked it then. I thought the man was wicked, but later I realized that this was his own way of shaping my life to grow up to be a focused and disciplined adult. I thank him for those trainings. I'm the first of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. Mom and Dad ensured that going to church was compulsory. I remember Mom would be in the kitchen humming or singing one Baptist hymn, and Dad, with his deep baritone voice, would chorus along from the living room. Such was the love that radiated between them. I could not recall a day when I heard them shouting at each other or abusing each other. If they did, it was not to the knowledge of the children. They had fun too. I remember Mom would be cooking in the kitchen and Dad perceiving the aroma of a boiled goat meat or chicken, we'll walk into the kitchen and say, "Eku ise ni beyan," meaning, "Well done." Of course, Mom understood the language. That salutation will make Mom drop a piece of meat on the saucer and hand it over to Dad, who will walk back to the living room, retire beside his transistor radio to savor the taste of the boiled meat. Again, when the meat was being fried, he would enter the kitchen again with the same salutation, "Eku ise ni beyan." And of course, the usual will follow. What a great couple they were. Growing up, Mom trained us to work hard, wash cars, bake cakes in those old traditional ovens made of wood and lined with plates. Put icing on cakes, fry chin-chin, fry akara, and pound yams. You know, eating pounded yam to an Ekiti family is a must. All these we were trained to do. When I remember Christmas and festive periods, I remember food. Plenty food. Eye Karo, my mom's cousin, will always bring pounded yam on Christmas Day as early as 7 a.m. And we will all sit at that time and eat. Thereafter, there will be jollof rice, chicken, treat-up drinks, and cakes to go with the mood of the celebration. And my uncle too, Dr. Olu Aturamu, will always ensure we had the best of fun during festive period. I won't forget in a hurry some of his shirts passed on to me in my undergraduate days at the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Great good old days of family values. Those days when what mattered to us has been taught by our parents were kindness, self-compassion, integrity, responsibility, mutual respect, honesty, flexibility, and fairness. Days when the values of hard work was placed well above luck and reaping where you did not sow. Unfortunately, these values have taken flight in most homes and among most of our youth today. Governance is a reflection of our values. Leadership is equally a reflection of our values. For leadership to be of value, upbringing matters. I'm an ardent believer in a greater Nigeria. We can change the narrative. Our youth must be made to embrace those time-tested values of yesteryears that made some of us who we are today. Our leaders must borrow from the four-way test of the Rotary, in which I proudly belong, and ask themselves these questions when decisions are to be taken. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And finally, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Our children certainly deserve a better and brighter future. We can make it happen by making sure from our own little space we do our bits and right the wrongs. To this end, I therefore join my good friend, Sir Shemo Rebadejo, in this patriotic drive towards a better and brighter tomorrow, not only for our youths, but for ourselves too. Thank you very much.